and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm Alan.
And I'm John.
And welcome back to the second part of the Great Big Cull of 2022. Last time I did get rid of a few games.
Not as many as you should have.
There's John's being my conscience. And we just obviously see what we do as we go through here. So this is the next lot of games. These have come from a bit around the room.
So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and predict what Alan will do if he will keep or sell as we go through. Okay, I'll start off with an easy one. This is a keeper. In an Arnak, that's a keeper.
That was a no-brainer to be fair.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's fine. It's got the expansion in it. I've upgraded it.
The mini compasses are fantastic.
Yeah. There's it's a lovely game from CGE. I love some stuff CGE does.
So time stories, and behind me there are 11 expansions, or 11 cases, shall we say?
So that is Time Stories plus all of the expansions for it, and the blue series. This is the white series. I still intend to play through them.
Yeah, I think it's. I've played the first couple, and I'd like to play more of it. If I'm honest with you, it's a really interesting concept. But again, going back to the Chronicles of Crime and stuff, there's a lot of games and Escape the Room sort of stuff that is all of the same sort of niche. Mm-hmm. So I thought that would have been, that's a definite keep for you. Definite keeper.
Definite keep until I played it.
Okay.
So I have played this original base a long time ago. I'm looking to. We were getting a group together just before COVID hit to run through all of them. That group didn't actually meet because of COVID. So now it's about trying to look at getting that set up. And then we will go through them. Once we've through all the white box, I will move them on or sell them on as a bundle, possibly sell them individually. I know some of them are harder to get now, but yeah, we'll get rid of those.
Rolling Realms.
Now, I'm unsure on Rolling Realms. You've got a copy
I've got a copy of it.
And I got a copy because I was putting an order in for you for one of the expansions.
Yeah.
And roll and rights for me, they don't always tick all the boxes. But this is one of few roll and rights I do actually have.
There's Hadrian's Wall up there.
Let's flip them right.
It's a right. I like this. I like the fact that there's expansions coming out from, but buying them one at a time from Stonemaier is a bit extortionate. So you got to wait till you got a few to get.
I mean, Stonemaier does obviously say that don't order them on their own. Wait until you're going to get a bigger order, or they will go to retail. So get retail.
Nice.
It's not a small form factor.
And maybe. I think that's a maybe.
We're going in the maybe parks.
So King Domino, Queen Domino, and Age of Giants. Now, I think that this King Domino doesn't need the expansions. Personally, I think that's a perfectly fine little game. Tile matching.
I think you're right. I think
on its own, I don't think it needs these. I think the Giants and other bits, I don't think it needs these. I think that's absolutely fine.
I think you're right, and I think a lot of this fell into my completionist.
Yes, but I also think there's an element of this which I think is a bit rife in board games, is that maybe that was designed as the whole game, but they split it down into different parts so they could sell multiple.
I mean, one thing is, I think if you line it up properly, it's that side. Is that side? Yeah, if you actually line it up properly, they do actually form one panoramic view.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, the artwork, that could just be the artwork.
But yeah, I like King Domino.
I really like it, and it was one of the first games I picked up at a local game store that I just wandered in to have a chat with them, and sat me down and played it, and I loved it. I think it was great. I think Queen Domino adds a little bit more to it, and I think
don't think Queen Domino adds enough to it. I think I would just stick with that, but the fact you've got the others as well.
I mean, the other thing is you can make a massive game if you add them all together.
Yeah,
I think my choice now is to keep Queen Domino,
right,
and get rid of the other two.
Fair enough.
Because I think Queen Domino adds a bit more to the game side of it. Me and the wife played King Domino quite a lot, and she likes it, but her tastes have developed a little bit more. So I think Queen Domino will be the one that stays. And if we wanted something simplistic, then we'd probably look at getting the newer edition, the Stone Age edition, I think it is. So yeah, so I think this one stays, but those two are going to go.
I bought Kingdom the first UKGE Games Expo I went to, so that'd be about 2017. First one. It was on sale there. I picked up for about 15 quid. Good little game. I prefer that one. Myths of Winterforge. This could be controversial.
Yeah, I've not played it enough. And again, that's you can say that for a lot of my games. We're going to get onto a couple that I've not played at all soon. So, I like the quality of this. I like the gameplay in it. I think there are other games that do more. I think that's a maybe for me. And I think the maybe is I want to play it a couple more times and then I'll move it on. So I'm going to go to maybe for me.
I think what you need to do with a maybe pile is if it put a time limit on it, and if you don't play them before that time, that they have to go. Caroline bought some Lindor eggs for some friends of ours. She said, I'll drop them round. So I ate some this weekend. But Caroline said, I was going to drop them round. She bought them for Easter. And they've been sat in the cupboard. So I'm eating them because they're just sat there and they're never going round to that person's house.
Yeah.
So today, yeah.
The moral of the story is I need to sell my board games or John's going to come around and eat them.
Put a time limit on them, and if you don't sell them, if you don't play them by the end of the year, then they go on the get rid of pile, because otherwise they're just going to be taking up space. And that, you have to be that harsh about it sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of looking at it. And I know that Sons of Anarchy, cracking a game as this is, we've played it 2 or 3 times, and will it come back to the table?
I think I like it, and I've actually got an expansion for it, which is one of the most hard to get hold of expansions for. And it's now just had a reprint as well.
It's a good game. It's a solid. It's a strange one. It's a solid game, and I think it deserves to have had more made of it.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 expansions. One you can get, and one you struggle with. And I did pick up, in order to pick up the expansion, I had to pick up a second copy of the game, which I did sell the second copy of the game. But
theme wise, adult orientated because of what's in it, but it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good sort of resource management threatening. So that will stay. I like it. I like the IP. I think that sings a lot for me, and I think it's quite thematic.
Firefly.
So moving on to another Gale Force game, Firefly. I love the IP on this one, and
who doesn't love Firefly?
I mean, to be fair, Fox probably.
Yeah.
So I haven't played this yet. I bought it 3 years ago. It was Expo 3 years ago. I bought this, and I debated about getting all the expansions for it at the time. I've actually got 2 of the additional ships for it. I've got the large money, and I've not played it. And the reason why I've not played it is it's a table hog and a half.
Yeah.
But everything I've heard about it is very good and very good things. There is a solo bit to it. I'm going to keep it because I want to play it, and I've also painted the miniatures in it as well. And also I need to design a 3D insert for it because that's what I do with all my stuff. And you can't put sleeved cards back in the base game box. So I do want to bring this back out, and I want to get it. I actually want to get it to the table and play. I think the other thing is it can be a slightly longer game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's not reached the table, but it's not going anywhere, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
And there are expansions for it. I think there's 3 or 4 big expansions for it as well. But they just add more to the board.
Back to the Future, a Dice Through Time.
So this one, again, I've not played it yet. The wife bought it for my birthday. I am a big Back to the Future fan. And yeah, we've not got it to the table yet. Great start, yeah. There is another Back to the Future game, which you'll see in another video. And I think that one's the better of the 2. And that's co-op, whereas this is competitive. So I think, in all honesty, and I'm sorry to her because she did get it for me lovingly, it will be a get played and move it on, possibly. But that needs to stay in the collection until at least it's been played.
Okay.
All right. So the shelf of shame is quite high, if you can see.
Bunkoverse.
I loved this when we played this.
Yeah, it was
really good. Speaking of Back to the Future, there is a set of this for Back to the Future.
I've got the Harry Potter one.
Yeah. I'm going to keep these because I think it's good. We saw Unmatched in the previous video. I think Unmatched is the better of the 2 games.
Yeah, there is. I think there is a similarity there, isn't there?
Yeah, they're very much. I mean, they're arena battlers with IPs attached. What more? What more says that? And Funkoverse have got the Marvel license as well.
Yep.
Same as the Unmatched system. So I think I might want to get this out a few more times, and then I think we might potentially be moving them on. But I think for now they stay where they are.
Yeah. Just to say, you won't be seeing a Back to the Future game in the future video because it's there.
No, there it is. Yeah. So
Yeah, there you go.
let's go for that. So apologies, I thought it was in there. So Back in Time is a co-op game. You're essentially trying to make sure the timeline happens and making sure
The picture doesn't dissolve. Yeah.
yeah, and make sure the picture doesn't dissolve, and you move around. It's quite brutal as well. I think the game's designed to beat you up about it. I think it's brilliant. I think as a co-op game, it's absolutely fantastic. Makes a very good use of the IP. So yeah, that ain't going anywhere for me. And like I say, I'll probably keep the choice will be over the two of them, and I think one will win out.
Okay, Sushi Roll. I'm going to predict this will go.
And I think you're right. I think Sushi Roll's fantastic. I picked this up because I didn't have Sushi Go. You've got Sushi Go.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really nice game. But the variety in it compared to Sushi Go Party, and I'm surprised we've not seen any expansions for it. This is, I think, is 2.5 years old now.
Yeah.
And we've not seen a single expansion for it. I think it's a lovely game. And I think if you haven't got Sushi Go, or you really like Sushi Go, Sushi Roll's fantastic.
I prefer Sushi Go over that. It's a nicer game. The player interaction of handing the cards around, the amount of people who can play it, I just prefer Sushi Go Party. And the way the variability of Sushi Go as well for me it makes it better.
Yeah. Like I say, I think for me, I think it's almost a gateway star game, and I think where I am in my hobby career, if you will, is I've outgrown that type of game.
Yeah.
There may become a time when we're fortunate to have a family that those things will come back out to me.
But Sushi Go is the better game for a gateway game than that.
Yeah. So, and it's smaller footprint. So yeah. Talking about nice fluffy games.
I think it's a great game.
It ain't going anywhere.
I'm surprised.
And I think if I was tempted to throw it, John would be first in the queue.
Yeah, I would.
For it. This has got the expansion in it.
It's a lovely
It's
game.
a really nice game. Richard Garfield. It's
Needs to be played more.
yeah, and I think the big thing with this is the theme puts people off,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't.
But look how angry that
Very angry rabbit.
Very angry rabbit.
So I think it's brilliant. It's incredible what it does.
Yeah.
The expansion adds a little bit more to it. It's inviting for everybody. It's not particularly complex. It's very strategic, and you can add an extra layer to it.
Very competitive game.
Yeah.
It's very it's very tight and competitive. Yeah.
But it's drafting, placement, and I think I'd play this over something like Seven Wonders, which is essentially the same thing, because you're drafting in both of them, but in this one you're placing out rather than.
I think I'd play Sushi Go Party over Seven Wonders.
I mean, yeah, that's a little bit different.
It's the same kind of thing. Draft the cards, pass them on, build up your set in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, I just prefer it. Right. So then, Fallout Shelter in a tin.
In a tin. So I got this for a present, and I think, as a lot of people didn't hold out much hope for it, because considered it's an IP game that's fantastically produced and not much substance. But there's some real substance to the game. Some real substance to it. And if you like engine builders and tableau builders, I'd happily recommend it. It's a small footprint game. If you like the Fallout theme, if you've ever played the Fallout Shelter game, it just mirrors that in a very good way. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. And I think again, because it's on that smaller footprint as well, plays up to 4, and I just everything about it I like. And it was a surprise, an absolute surprise. And there's a few games in my collection that have turned around and gone, oh, do you know what? That was a fantastic purchase. And although this was a gift, that falls in the sack.
It's always nice when they pop up.
Yeah. And again, doesn't get to the table enough, but it's a nice game when it does.
So, Star Wars Invasion of Theme. Role-playing game?
Role-playing game.
How often do you play role-playing games, Alan?
Very rarely.
There you go.
So, unfortunately, Emma got me that for a present because it was when I was starting to get into games, and I've never really picked it up. And I think being the fact that I've not done much in the role playing universe, if you will, I want to and I want to do. I mean, I jumped on one of your campaigns and I didn't really get along with it. And
we killed you quite spectacularly.
did you? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So it's a case that I think potentially I'd come back around to. It's supposed to be quite a good system on that one, but yeah, so that's there.
Right, so 3 quite big titles left on the table here.
Yeah, and quite sort of very different.
Yeah, very different.
All three of them. Dice Forge then?
Dice Forge.
I really like Dice Forge. I think it's very well produced. I think what it's trying to do is great. I think the luck in it is fantastic. I've got the expansion, which I haven't yet played, which is no surprise.
So I'm going to want to count somewhere on the screen of unplayed games, and as we go through, so we can see how many we've got.
Yeah. I think it's going to go.
Yeah. I like it's a nice game, but I wouldn't have it in my collection. It's not one that I would look up.
I think for what it is, and I think it very much suits a particular type of gamer. And at one point, that was me.
So the dice building element of it, where you build up the dice, I think there's other games that do that building up element better. For me, and I think it falls down a bit on that. It's okay. I'd say it's okay.
Yeah. And I think it's got a fantastic insert in it, although things do tend to fall out. But it's got a fantastic insert in it. The artwork on it's fantastic. The theming of it's really well done. And it really is a really nice game. I just think...
I think the Cracks of Quedlinburg, where you build that bag up and extra and build your turn up a bit more. I think it does it better than this.
Yeah.
Orleans does it better than this.
Yeah, but I think it's a quite nice game, and it's probably sits in that threshold for people. But yeah, I think for me now it's going to go, and I feel really gutted for that because I've not played the expansion. No, and I fought to get the expansion.
That kind of surprised me. I thought you'd have kept that.
And I think 3 months ago I probably would have. But now I've not got it back to the table. We've not got the expansion out. It's a lovely game.
There'll be plenty of takers to buy that.
Yeah. So it'll be coming with the expansion as well.
Yeah. So two big hitters still on the table. 2 great entry games. 2 big names. Ticket to Ride, which is I like that, and Catan, which I absolutely love as well. And there's a lot of people now think the gaming world has moved on from Catan, and it's.
I think it's still the building blocks of most games.
Yeah, I think it is as well. I've got Starfarers of Catan, but any time I go into a game shop, I look at this because I don't actually own a copy of the base game, and I look at it and I almost pick it up off the shelf and have in my collection. I love Catan. I still do. I love the dice rolling luck of it. I like the board, the way it builds up, and you never fails to surprise me whenever I play this.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough love in there for it. And I think I did fall out of love with my copy because someone sat on the box, which I nearly shot him for it. But no, I didn't. That's me being us there. But it's also got the 5 to 6 player expansion in it. Which I thought was essential because we had those few extra groups with the extra players. I think some of the rules in the 5 to 6 player game were quite nice. And yeah, I like Catan. There was a time where I was looking at getting all of Catan, but
you need another wall.
Yeah, all of it.
Starfarers is a lovely version. The Star Trek one's a lovely version as well. I played that too. I've not played the Game of Thrones, though I think Brian's got that as well. But yeah, just as a instead of Monopoly, instead of any of those board games, that, and then this as well.
Ticket to Ride. So
sorry.
No, we'll go. Okay. So Ticket to Ride. Again, this was one of the first games I ever picked up because it's one of those that you recommend to everybody. It's a really nice game. Really simplistic, really quick. Obviously, a Spiel winner. And it's just great production from Days of Wonder.
The anniversary edition is obscene. It's absolutely beautiful. Plays with my kids. play this, but it's not just a gateway game. I think it transcends. There's certain games that probably transcend the gateway game label, and these are possibly two of them.
Yeah, and I like it. I play the app, so I've got the app, and that's quite good. I think you can bring it out to certain family groups and stuff like that, because it is just set drafting and building off those sets. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's a place for both of these.
That's a fair point. And
that's why I've left both of them on the table.
Yeah.
Because I think Catan's the more strategic of the two games.
Yes, definitely has the deeper strategy.
I think Ticket to Ride is the more accessible.
Yes.
Of the two. I think both can be easily taught, both can be mastered. But I think I'm going to stick with Catan because A, I've got the app for Ticket to Ride. And
I've got a copy.
B, I think Ticket to Ride Europe is the better of the two games.
I prefer the American one, but that's because it's the first one I played. I've seen people suggest that what you should do is have the America, Europe, and Africa and play all three maps and join them up.
Nice.
So you have a global thing, which I'd love to try and do. It's like trying to play Plank, 4 different Plank maps using the same cards and play 4 different maps at once.
Yeah,
which would be that's something we should try. Maybe stream that.
Yeah,
I can't knock either of these, and I have that. That's never going to leave my collection. And this may well find its place in my collection, and it will never leave. But I have got another version of this, which was not a bit of a grow game, but a game that I wanted to play. So
so I sort of think with that in mind, Ticket to Ride is going. I think it's had its opportunity in my collection.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good game. It's a very solid game. It's a gateway game. I think we've had some really good times with it. But I think for me, it's
what you need is a cutaway to you running through fields with Ticket to Ride and sitting in a pub and laughing at it.
But I think it's great. I think it's a really nice game. But I think out of the two of them, I need to, as you quite rightly pointed out at the end of the last video, I need to get rid of some more games.
That's more of a commitment there. That's not bad.
Yeah. So what have we got? Another 6 with the
6. Is there anything at the back underneath Domino?
I don't think there is.
Right, so that's another 6.
So that's another 6. So
lovely.
That's great. So thank you for joining us for this second edition of the Cull. We'll be back with some more as we start going through the shelves behind us. So give us a like, give us a subscribe, check out other videos on the channel, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Bye.